D.C. Follies. President Joe Biden orders the discharge of U.S. military for refusing to get COVID vaccine. Here's Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin announcing this policy. The Air Force has discharged 27 people for refusing to get the COVID-19 vaccine, making them what officials believe are the first service members to be removed for disobeying the mandate from politician Joe Biden to get the shots. In the United States military, you are expected to follow the chain of command and to obey orders lawfully given to you. The problem is the U.S. military has a long policy of offering religious exemptions for all sorts of reasons against getting various kinds of shots. The problem is this is a directive from politicians, not from medical experts. If you think about the act of discharging someone from the military, for those of you who have not had military service, it is an enormous step to raise your right hand and swear an oath on the Constitution of the United States to defend America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So that obligation can last years, perhaps a lifetime. For these patriots who signed away their personal freedoms in order to join the United States Air Force, to have their patriotism callously dismissed by President Joe Biden is a disgrace. At the same time that we're being told on one narrative that Joe Biden is a hero for throwing United States military personnel out of the service, and at the same time we are told that Donald Trump is a villain for delivering a speech at the Save America rally on January 6th of this year. Why was Donald Trump considered a villain for speaking out about election reform, of ensuring that every vote be counted legally and lawfully, and yet Biden is acting like the dictator they said Donald Trump wanted to be? We were in fact warned for 4 years that Donald Trump was going to be a dictator any day now, but it didn't happen. Let's take a look at this news story here. One of the shocking things about Joe Biden, how withdrawn he seems from reality. The Department of Justice and the Department of Homeland Security held a joint meeting where they worked out paying $450,000 payments to people breaking the law entering our country. Joe Biden was so out of it, so disengaged, that when he was asked about this policy, he had no idea that these two agencies under his command had even held this joint meeting and set up this arrangement. Then, when he was asked about that a week after, he backtracked and said it's a good idea. And then the Department of Justice officials, listen to what they say here. While the parties have been unable to reach a settlement agreement, we remain committed to engaging with the plaintiffs and to bringing justice to the victims of this abhorrent policy. Think about that for a moment. If it's an abhorrent policy not to pay illegal immigrants for breaking the law and entering our country, why did the Department of Justice just walk away from the negotiating table with these illegals and their lawyers? I guess abhorrent policies aren't really opposed seriously by the Biden administration, which brings us back to the chief spectacle that the Democratic Party has created to occupy the attention of Washington, D.C. If you wonder what your Democrat representatives are doing in the January 6 committees, it's not usual for a political party to attempt to imprison the political officials of their predecessor. But that's precisely the Democrat agenda. If you voted for Adam Schiff or anyone else on the January 6 committee being conducted right now, you might ask, what work are they doing on behalf of their constituents back in their districts? The answer is not much. Here, Adam Schiff has reverted to type and is fabricating texts and emails between Donald Trump's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, and a Republican, Jim Jordan. Let's go here to National Public Radio. They interview a former conservative, Jonah Goldberg. Jonah Goldberg says this about Donald Trump and January 6. All normal people watching the events of January 6 understood a few basic truths. That this riot, that Donald Trump had some culpability for it. He was the reason that these rioters were there. He was the person who could tell those rioters to stop rioting. The real outrage about it, to my mind, is that for the next 11 months, a lot of people decided that Donald Trump had nothing to do with it. At this very moment, it is illegal to watch an entire video speech of Donald Trump on that day. Donald Trump gave an hour-long speech at the January 6th Save America rally. You cannot watch that entire speech anywhere on YouTube. President Trump speaks at Save America rally, Washington, D.C. Watch what happens when I click on the link. This video has been removed for violating YouTube's community guidelines. Now, we're missing context here. We don't know when they removed it. But this raises several questions. One is, President Donald Trump has not been charged with any crime. Neither has anyone been charged with any crime related to the actions of these people, around 50 people, who illegally entered the Senate building while it was conducting business. Those people are all being sentenced. Why is it important for YouTube to censor any words or any statements by President Donald Trump on January 6th? You search for the term Trump January 6th and they give you a little summary. A mob of supporters of President Donald Trump attacked the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C. But look at the news summaries if you type in that search. The Democrat-run media complex will be happy to summarize what they think you should hear and see about January 6th and Donald Trump's speech. But you can't actually watch his speech. So my question for YouTube would be, if Donald Trump is so clearly guilty, why would you hide the evidence that does not exonerate him? Unless you think his complete speech actually exonerates Donald Trump, in which case you would have to ban him from every social media platform so that you can control the narrative of anything that was said or happened that day. And that, in fact, is what's being done. Look at the list of social media platforms that banned Donald Trump from ever stating his case or saying even one word. Amazon, Apple, Discord, Facebook, Google, Instagram, Pinterest, Reddit, Shopify, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. The notion is Donald Trump's clearly guilty. If he's clearly guilty of some crime, why hasn't he been charged with any crime? It would seem that simply opposing the Democratic Party is the new definition of a political crime. This is something you see in communist dictatorships like Cuba, Venezuela, Zimbabwe, and the other places where communists control by fear and terror and controlling all information. In fact, if we look at the January 6th rally itself, from 100,000 to 250,000 Trump supporters here, there were 50 people that entered the Senate building. If this crowd entered the Senate building, there would be no Democratic Party. There would be no hearings run by Shifty Schiff, where he has to fabricate and falsify and alter text messages between Trump's chief of staff in order to convey his point. If Mark Meadows is guilty of something, why do you have to edit and alter and change his factual texts and emails? This group here did not riot. This group here did not mob the Capitol. Donald Trump, in his speech, calmly and politely asked for the people that came to his rally to walk to the Capitol and protest peacefully. That's something that you won't see anywhere from the official news outlets. Why? Because they have to control the narrative. We've got a man in the White House who's acting like he has no idea what happens by his own staff. We have a man in the White House who views anyone disobeying his edicts, his political orders, as the enemies of the state. And we have Democrats with an extremely thin majority in the House of Representatives and the Senate acting like dictators themselves. If Trump is the dictator, why are the Democrats behaving in every single way that they accuse Donald Trump of wanting to do? I guess the notion is, in order to stop a mad dictator, you have to be dictators yourselves. And this will excuse any crime and any law being broken by the Democratic Party, because power is all that matters to these people. And the policies, if they don't make sense, that's not their fault either, because everything can be blamed on Donald Trump. Thank you.